What is the Unfinished Swan? That's the question I asked myself when I was presented with this game. I had no idea what it was about, who developed it, and what kind of game it was. All I knew is that it was an indie developed game. Upon further investigation, I found out it was developed by Giant Sparrow, a relatively small development team, and that it was an adventure game like none other. Now I have had the chance to finish the game and experience the Unfinished Swan, I guess the question is the Unfinished Swan an experience worth taking, or is it just another title worth forgetting? Let's find out.
Monroe's mother had always been much better at starting things than finishing them. When she died, she left behind over 300 canvases, not one of them finished, along with Monroe, who felt pretty unfinished himself.
The story in The Unfinished Swan follows a little boy named Monroe. Monroe's mother was an avid painter. She loved to draw a number of things, most of them being animals of varying nature. The problem Monroe's mother had was that she was much better at starting things than finishing them. When she died, she left over 300 canvases, not one of them finished. The orphanage that Monroe moved to told him that he could only take one of the canvases with him. He decided to take the Unfinished Swan as it was always his mother's favourite. One day while sleeping, the swan just disappeared, so he takes his mother's paintbrush and enters the painting on a quest to find the missing swan. The narrative in The Unfinished Swan actually surprised me of how deep it was. Coming into the game, I didn't think it would make me feel anything, but it actually did. The best I can describe it, it's basically like a good little children's story. It's not very long, it's easy to understand, and it also has a great little moral to it too. It's just a very somber story that is told at a slow pace. Don't get me wrong, if you're looking for big bombastic set pieces and a fast and frantic feel, then this game will feel way too slow and probably bore you with its narrative. But if you would like to relax and delve into an interesting and unique world, then this game is definitely for you. I just love games like this where something so small in scope can be more affecting than the biggest of blockbuster titles. The art style in The Unfinished Swan is basically what makes the game so unique. The game is extremely light on colours and most of the title is mainly white. You see, the main hook of the game is that the world you are visiting is unfinished, so you have to use mainly black paint to illuminate your surroundings to you. The art design is absolutely brilliant and the concept is genius. The graphics makes the game feel unique and like you are playing the most simplified version of an adventure game. The graphics here, unlike other titles, aren't about what it looks like or how good it looks, it's about discovery and how cool it is to discover your surroundings. In short, the graphical design in The Unfinished Swan is stunning, to say the least. The audio in The Unfinished Swan is amazing. The soundtrack is what makes it so awesome. For most of the game there will be no music present and just the sounds of the surroundings and the environment you're in will be playing. But when the game delivers some pretty astonishing moments, the music will come in and it will blow you away. Honestly, every single track in The Unfinished Swan adds a feel of mysticism and strengthens the feeling of exploring the unknown. It knows when to ramp up and when to keep it simple, which I really enjoyed. The voice work of the little there is actually top notch. Every character is whimsical and well acted. The narrator is welcoming and really adds a feel of watching a children's story play out. All the characters make you feel at home and that the story they're telling is leading somewhere important. The sound here is just spectacular in every aspect.
The king hated the sea, and all because of his very first castle. It was the only one he had ever come close to finishing, and it took him a single day. But then the tide came in and washed it all away. He vowed that someday he'd build a kingdom that would last forever.
The gameplay in The Unfinished Swan is adventure at its simplest form. You as Monroe will mainly be throwing different forms of liquid onto the surroundings to do certain things. At the beginning of the game you will start with the black paint and have to hurl it at walls to figure out where exactly you are and what the environment actually looks like. Then as you move on, you will get war at your disposal and a few more utilities that I don't want to spoil for you. The gameplay here is addicting fun. Whether you're playing in the light world or the pitch black world, everything just feels so relaxing. There are a few puzzles in the game, but nothing as challenging as any of the Portal puzzles, but the main draw here is the experience as a whole. When the gaming industry is chock full of by-the-numbers first-person shooters and games filled to the brim with high-octane action, it's nice to play a game like the Unfinished Swan that asks you just to slow down and take your time and enjoy the moment. The only downside I can see here is that I managed to beat it in an hour and 40 minutes, which is massively short for a game priced at £10, but the Unfinished Swan is a game that is meant to be replayed, as there are a number of collectibles to collect and balloons to find to spend on toys for Monroe to play with. It's an experience that you have to treat as a great storybook, something that you want to read again and again. The Unfinished Swan is a vastly creative and unique title that is definitely worth your time if you have the money to spare. The interesting and children's book-like story, art style and gameplay that inspires adventure in the best way possible. You have a game that is not to be missed. With all that said, I'm going to give the Unfinished Swan a 9 out of 10. The game is excellent and nothing I've ever seen before. I guarantee that it will blow you away at how good it really is. The only downside to it is that it's very short and I can see people being put off by that. But otherwise, I implore you, if you have the time and money, please pick up this game and support the excellent dev team at Giant Sparrow, as they are definitely a team worth keeping an eye on. This game is amazing, and I can't wait to see what they create next. The Unfinished Swan was provided to me by Sony Computer Entertainment and is only available on the PlayStation 3. I would like to thank them for sending me this title for review. Hey guys, if you liked the review, then subscribe to the channel and check out the TeamGamersNetwork.com, as we have a ton of gaming goodness waiting for you. Also, if you're interested, I have a Twitter and I post a lot of gaming updates, so be sure to follow me if you love gaming as much as I do. Bye guys!